Hey guys, so this is not really a tutorial. Well, it's a tutorial on how to make a tutorial successfully, how to make a good tutorial. And don't mind this image right here. I'm going to use that for a further demonstration. So, I'm going to go ahead and give you some tips that I've learned over the course of like a year of making tutorials. Now, I'm not an expert on making tutorials. These are just a few tips, and I've watched plenty of tutorials over like more than a year, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, I've seen everything you shouldn't do in a tutorial to like everything that makes an awesome tutorial. So, before I recommend that so I'm gonna go over like stuff you need, like screen recorders, microphones, all that kind of stuff. So hardware. So you need a good screen recorder, or else your tutorial is going to suck. So I recommend using. Um, Now, if you're first starting out, a really good free one is Cam Studio, which you can get at camstudio.org. This is a really good, pretty high quality screen recorder too. And now editing software, you can just, I started out using just Windows Movie Maker, and that worked fine for me for a while, because there's not much editing you really need to do, maybe just cut out a few parts, speed up a few parts, stuff like that. So there's really not much you need to do, but if you guys are wondering about my zooming in effects in some of my videos, that is made with another video editor, and I'll talk about that later. But see, with Cam Studio, you can do quite a lot of stuff for a free screen recorder. You can highlight your cursor. Uh, you can um, you can also auto pan and stuff like that. Now, auto panning, it's okay, but don't make your window like super zoomed up on your mouse. I'd recommend making the window pretty, large around your mouse so that it's easier to see everything, and it's because if it's too zoomed up on the mouse, you really can't tell what's going on. And I recommend turning the speed down a little. I think that's what it's called. I know there's an option where you can like turn down how fast like the window will move with your mouse. Turn that down a little so that it doesn't give people headaches. Another good screen recorder is Camtasia Studio. Now, it's expensive. You have to pay for it, but you can get a free trial of it for 30 days, so that's always nice. And with that, it comes with this video editor where you can zoom in. And I like that more than AutoPan because I don't know, I just think it works better. So I prefer when it's like full screen and then you zoom in on stuff. So they have it for Windows and for a Mac. Now the Mac version is very different from it's pretty different from the PC version. So it's not the interface is very different too. Well, I haven't used Camtasia Studio 7 yet. I've only been using version 6, so that would probably I don't even know if I'm gonna update mine. Anyway, now if you're using a Mac, another good screen recorder is called ScreenFlow, which is what I'm using now, except it's not free, and the free trial leaves a giant watermark on your video that says ScreenFlow or something like that. So I still have not really found any good free ones. I'm not sure if you can use Cam Studio with a Mac or not, and I feel like I'm just rambling on, but you know what? I'm just gonna post this video, even if it just sounds like me rambling. Anyway, so now when it comes to audio, I really like voice narration simply because I think it helps understand the tutorial better if the person's talking, rather than, have you've probably seen those tutorials where they have like Notepad opened up and they'll jump to that and type in with that. That's okay, I guess, as I really don't like that technique of tutorials. But I guess if you use it the right way, it could be decent. Or you could always have like subtitles like pop up the bottom of your screen right here. That'd be nice. Just make the text big enough to read. But when using a microphone, don't breathe in and like breathe out deeply into it, or it leaves a lot of like that staticky noise. If you watch some of my older videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I try not to do that, but Right now I'm just using the microphone that's built into the iSight camera. So, and in my other videos, in my very old videos, I use like an actual like microphone that you had to, that was not like, that did not come with the computer. But then on my kind of newer tutorials, I use a built-in microphone that came with the computer, and it's just built into the monitor. So, and that's what I've been using for my for all my tutorials now. And I think the audio quality is pretty nice. You don't hear me breathing in and out because that's kind of distracting. Um, I think it's gonna be a long video. So that kind of covers all the hardware you need. Now, when it comes to making the tutorial itself, now the content of the tutorial, be original. Don't, try to be as original as you can with your tutorials. And if you are converting, a whatever tutorial to a whatever tutorial, then please give credit to the owners. And if you're making like a photo manipulation tutorial or something like that where you need like stock images, always leave links to those, because I know some people will forget to leave links for those in the description or something. Always do that, because that's always annoying if you see a cool tutorial but they don't leave links to what they used. Now for when you actually start making the tutorial, let's say I was now here comes my image comes into play. Let's say I was going to show you how to make this image. Obviously that would not be a very successful tutorial. But let's pretend that this looks awesome. So what I like to do before I actually start recording is I go ahead and make the image, unless it's a photo manipulation tutorial, which are generally pretty long, so I'll save those images and I'll open them back up before the tutorial starts. But if it's a simple like text effect or not really detailed tutorial, it won't take like more than a few minutes to explain. Then I'll go ahead and make the image itself, so that kind of, it's like a warm-up kind of before you start recording, so you know what you're doing. You're not going to stop in the middle of the video and forget what to do. And that way you can show the finished product in the beginning of the video, because some people might not, they might be just looking at your video and they want to see what you're going to make, and not everyone wants to fast forward to the very end of the tutorial where you're done. So always show your finished product in the beginning of your tutorial. That's kind of a rule of thumb that I always follow. And then just try to explain everything as clearly as possible. And let's say I was going to blur this for some reason. Let's say I had like a box like this, and some different setting boxes are a lot more complicated than this, and it's not just like the radius. But some have like a lot of different options. So make sure you either zoom in on this or do something so that this box is clear and everyone can see what you're doing. Since sometimes the settings are pretty important, or at least read them out loud so people can try to hear. And when you talk, try to talk as clearly as possible. And I think that's it for this little tutorial on how to make a tutorial. I hope this is not over 10 minutes, because I've been sitting here rambling to my computer. I feel kind of awkward. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions on making tutorials, then leave it as a comment and I will try to answer them.